To the stream. Yep, it's just one of those nights where I'm kind of in the mood to stream, so yeah, see what happens. And I noticed that anytime I do want to stream, it's sometimes for a purpose. Like, there's things that I want to talk about, but just don't because it never gets brought up in the chat, you know? But whatever, you know. Hello, Prison Meddler. You are first. Welcome. Second. Yeah, you are second, Junebug. Welcome. Yeah, welcome, guys. Plan on this being a more chill stream, you know? Rocking the Van Halen shirt for Eddie, right? I guess so. What is that, man? What is what? Yep, got my Van Halen shirt on. This is honestly one of my favorite shirts to wear around the house. Because, well, I am a bit selective on which band shirts I'll wear around the house and which ones I'll go out in. Oh, you were trying to say what is up? Hey, what's up, Kyle? Mammoth, I do like the band, but Wolf is not a lead singer. Okay. I got you. Wow. Yeah, so MJ Nation's Q&A video, when he was asked about giving Demon Hunter another chance, not gonna lie, that was kind of triggering, especially when he said, oh, I don't know how anyone can, you know, worship these guys or whatever. Well, I think that way about Slipknot. I don't know how anyone could worship Slipknot, you know. And he likes All That Remains, which is what I don't understand, you know. It's, I mean, I don't know what the deal is. I mean, All That Remains is a good band too, but are they better than Demon Hunter? In my opinion, no. I mean, they're not even close for me. It is what it is, though. I know that people have their opinions and such, so I just find that kind of weird, though. Because I think All That Remains is far less superior than Demon Hunter. Trivium is way better than All That Remains. I totally agree with that. Yeah, Trivium is up there for me, too. But yeah, I would agree with that. There's a lot of bands I like more than All That Remains, actually. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do like All That Remains, but I wouldn't put them up there as like my favorite metalcore band. They're maybe in my top 5, but if they are, they're definitely at number 5. And there's nothing wrong with that. Eddie was a great singer, but he was not a lead singer, yeah. It's just amazing when you realize school drama never ends, right? Hey, what's going on, Max? Welcome. Oh, welcome to the stream. I never liked All That Remains. Just a personal opinion, though. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I've noticed that All That Remains is... I don't think that they're as big as they used to be. Now, I could be wrong, but I do feel like that they used to be a lot bigger as a band. I mean, I can understand why they're not as big as they used to be, but I don't know. All That Remains went downhill after Overcome, but their latest album wasn't bad. Yeah, I can agree with that. I actually do think that Victim of the New Disease is their best album since Overcome. Now, would I say that it's up there, like on par with their old stuff? Probably not. Heck no. I still think their first few albums are a lot better. Even their debut album I do like, Behind Silence and Solitude. There's some pretty good stuff on that album. Philosophy, especially as a director, is you have a problem, you have a problem with me, let's talk about it like adults. Yeah, I can agree with that. You were listening to Judas Priest today. Nice. Definitely a great band. There are rumors that I'm hearing that Pink Floyd might be putting out a new album. Cool. What's your favorite PS1 game growing up? Mine was Driver. Did you enjoy the Twisted Metal games? Funny story, actually. I've never owned a PS1 console, but I have played PS1 games on my PS2, which did happen to be my first gaming console. Twisted Metal, I've played one of the games once, and I mean, I thought it was fun, but it wasn't anything that I could see myself getting really into. Periphery is another great metalcore band, new gen, but they're also prog metalcore. Interesting. Yeah, when I think of prog metalcore, I think of Between the Buried and Me. That's a band I haven't really been paying much attention to be honest. Maybe sometime I'll go back and listen to their music, but haven't been feeling it. I think there's just way better bands out there. Even though I used to be a pretty big fan of them. Favorite PS1 game? Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. Nice. Never played that. Yeah, I was just thinking, this just came to my mind since I was on the subject of Between the Buried and Me. A few years ago, like, I had this concept that I had to buy the new album from, a band that I once liked. Like, even if the band fell off for me, like, I'd still buy the album just because I liked them before, Eventually, I learned to stop doing that, I say that because I didn't get Between the Buried and Me's last album, which I think was the Color sequel, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was their last release. It wasn't that one, but it was the one before, which I think is called, like, Automata or something. I got the first one, I never got the second one, though. Know what I have started to do? Listen to the album first online. And then if I like the album, I buy it. Yeah, that's how I usually am as well. That's how I am when getting into new bands as well. Like, if I'm trying to get into a band, like, usually I won't just get their album, purchase their albums, like, right on the spot, you know. I gotta listen to the music first. Although there have been some occasions where I have picked up some music that I didn't know anything about, but I just heard good things about them, you know. Very rarely will I do that anymore. So yeah. New Slipknot tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. And Drowning Pool is dropping tomorrow as well. You're looking forward to Slipknot more. I am looking forward to neither. Yep, not even the new Slipknot. Probably won't check it out. I was listening to some Linkin Park and I found a video of Faint in the live video called Linkin Park Faint Top. Okay, cool. Interesting. Hello, Andrew. Welcome to the stream. Hello, Tonic. Welcome to the stream to you as well. Slipknot is a ripoff band anyways. They stole from Mushroom Head. Don't like either band, yeah. Now, a few years ago, I kind of liked Slipknot. I mean, I think a few years ago, it just was me forcing myself to be into them just because, like, you know, they're a big band and everyone I knew was into them, and I don't know. That was the problem with my musical journey, like, a few years ago. Like, a lot of bands I tried to force myself into just because, like, you know, my peers were into them. You know, and I kept hearing praise for them or whatever. But Slipknot, and Slipknot is definitely an example of that, I think. Now, there's nothing wrong with taking band recommendations. There's some bands that I'm very glad I took recommendations from. I would say that the people that I take the most recommendations from are MJ Nation, surprisingly. And Sea of Tranquility, I've taken a few recommendations from, just not that he's personally recommended bands to me, but just from what I've seen from, you know, what he's talked about in videos and stuff, like, and also Jamie Horsley as well, who's now known as Discovery Metal Legion. He kind of got me into Emerson, Lake and Palmer. That is how I also listen to CDs. I usually listen to an album on Spotify, and if I like it enough, I'll get the CD physically. Okay, yeah, that's reasonable. Egypt Central is an underrated band I got into this year. I really enjoy the band's second album, White Rabbit, and I think it's the band's best album. Yeah, I don't really know much about Egypt Central. One band who I've been listening to a lot, who I personally find to be underrated, is Asia. That is a band I've been listening to a lot recently. Maybe one of my most listened to bands of the month. You do like Sea of Tranquility? Nice. Yeah, he's a good guy. I mean, I'd like to do a collab with him one of these days, but I mean, Sea of Tranquility is an ocean, no pun intended, and I'm just a puddle, you know, on this platform, so, I mean, I'm nothing compared to him. But if I did collab on his channel, that'd be a milestone for sure. MJ Nation recommended me some great bands, Filter being One of them, I hope they release a new album soon. Yeah, Filter, I still need to check out. Asia, I need to listen to them more. You're a fan of them than I am. Yeah. I feel like I'm a bigger fan of Asia than most people, actually. It's funny because there's some people that call me the Demon Hunter guy on YouTube. I think there's some people that might even start calling me the Asia guy on YouTube. Maybe for more reasons than one, but I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, definitely check out more from Asia. Very underrated band. That one guy is always on his channel sometimes, Bryce. No offense, he seems kind of a jerk. Really? I get along fine with Bryce. I mean, he's been on my channel before. I mean, we've collabed. The Asian guy. Because you love Asian women. Shh. Ever heard of Since October? They are an underrated band inspired by Sevendust. No, I have not heard of them. Yeah, Sevendust, that's a band that I haven't really listened to in a while as well. You could say that they're an underrated band too. Check out the band, Astral Doors. The guy sounds like Ronnie James Dio, the lead singer. Gotcha. But yeah, Andrew, that's why I said for more reasons than one, so. And it's also reversed as well from my experience, so there you go. Maybe it's just his demeanor. I don't know him personally. Yeah, I know that some people don't like Bryce from what I've seen from YouTube comments and stuff. I mean, I think he's a cool guy. I mean, yeah, he doesn't really have any personality, but I'm cool with him, so. I know that me and Quest for Metal actually discussed on doing a collab sometime. So yeah, that might be something that sees the light of day. Bush is already working on the follow-up to 2020's The Kingdom. Interesting. Never got into Bush, though. Angels is my favorite Avenged Sevenfold song. Interesting. Yeah, that's another band that kind of fell off for me as well. I mean, I don't think that they're bad. I actually still might like them more than Slipknot, but that's just me. How many CDs of Linkin Park you have in your collection? Well, I have all the main albums except for One More Light. I'm also missing Living Things for some reason. Like, I don't know where that CD is. I also have the Reanimation remixed album. And I have another remixed album as well, Recharged. And yeah, that's about it that I have from Linkin Park. My girl is part Italian and her laughed at me. Nice. Because I made a police. Ah, nice. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, my GF is all Filipina. I'm the Italian in this one. I also like a little bit of 12 Stones, mainly Crash being their best song. Okay. You don't like, but I like other Bush. Okay. I would not mind a new Alice in Chains album. Yeah, we're actually getting one, surprisingly. They're actually working on it right now, I think. At least that's what Duvall said. They said that they would work on their next album in late 2022. And we're in late 2022, you know, so they have either started on it or they're going to start on it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Breaking Benjamin is also due for a new album. I mean, that goes without saying. Ashes Remain is an underrated Christian rock band. I got into them this year. They have some good songs. I do know of Ashes Remain, actually. Never got into them. But I wouldn't say that they're bad. That's really cool because William Duvall was probably one of the best replacement lead singers. Yeah, I can agree. I bet you're looking forward to the new Nickelback. Oh, God. The new Nickelback. Why are they even still going on? Honestly, just why? I have thought about getting all of Ashes Remain. What I've become on CD. It's a good album. Yeah, I think I've heard a few songs from that album, actually. But again, I never got into them. Hey, how's it going, Christian Perez? Welcome. Have you heard of the band Alter Bridge? It's basically Creed with a different singer and better than Creed. Oh, okay. I have heard of Alter Bridge, but never really checked out their music. I mean, I've heard good things about them, so I might check them out. Ghost of August is another band I got into this year. They have one album that's really good. One word to describe them: underrated. Okay. Check out Tremonti too. Yeah, I've heard good things about them. Nickelback's Photograph is the best prog song ever. Sure it is. I said in the last stream I've heard rumors that Revolver. Oh, okay. Counting down to Slipknot new album, which drops tonight. Yeah, I'll leave that album to you guys. You should check out Creed. I don't think so, Scamp. I can't forget I'm hoping to get the new Seventh Day Slumber album. Along with some others, maybe for Christmas. Okay, cool. The best prog song ever is How You Remind Me by Nickelback. Oh, wow. Only thing it should place. Yeah, I never got into Guns N' Roses either. Junebug. My Own Person and Human Clay. Still Jam by Creed. Okay, I mean, more power to you. What if they combine How You Remind Me and Photograph and made it into the most complex, mind-bending 25-minute underground metal classic? Wow, my head just hurt reading that. Not really sure what to think of that, to be honest. You already heard the new Slipknot album. It's good, but We Are Not Your Kind is better. Yeah, that's what you said. That is interesting. Nick Jones is the greatest prog artist ever. Just kidding. Find Guns N' Roses to be overrated. Still a good band. but just overrated. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I would probably agree that they're overrated. Glam metal bands you might like are Dawkin and Rat. I don't know if you've checked them out. I have thought about checking out Dawkin. Rat, I don't know. I might. I know I've heard of both bands, though. Love Guns N' Roses, but they need to hang it up. They are 30 years past their prime, yeah. I'm gonna hear the new Slipknot album around 9 p.m. That's when the release radar gets updated and the new stuff gets released where I live. Gotcha. I pre-ordered the new Slipknot album. I've pre-ordered the Corey Taylor edition. Whatever that is. Decent, but We're Not Your Kind is way better. Hopefully I'll get some Metallica and ZZ Top for Christmas this year. Cool. Yeah, Metallica is a great band. ZZ Top I never got into. Right, it's good talking, they're good, but their followers make them sound better than they really are. Yeah. I think that's the problem with a lot of bands. And even bands like Slipknot, for example. Like, everyone makes a big deal out of Slipknot, but I don't really find their music all that great, to be honest. I mean, it's not bad. Like, I wouldn't call their music bad by any means. Like, obviously, if you force me to either listen to Slipknot or Nickelback, then yeah, that's a no-brainer. I'd choose Slipknot. Hey Zach, I finally bought Saint Anger on CD, but used for $8. Not a bad deal, especially for a used copy. Yeah, that's not a bad deal. Mom is a huge fan of ZZ Top. Nice. Do you like Deep Purple, Jethro Tull, Blue Oyster Cult? All three of those bands I have thought about checking out. Now, Jethro Tull, that's a prog rock band, right? You wouldn't buy Saint Anger for a penny. Can't wait for you to get more Phil Collins solo stuff. Yeah, I do like some of Phil Collins solo material. I might pick up some of his actual main albums, so... at least the first album, you know. Because, I mean, obviously, In the Air Tonight is a classic. There's plenty of bands like that. I would argue Avenged Sevenfold is a tad more overrated than Slipknot because I do appreciate Slipknot more. That is understandable. I would also agree that Avenged Sevenfold is overrated. Yeah, they are pretty prog. Okay. It's an okay condition, but the CD works. I like Deep Purple a lot. I got heavily into them this year. Very cool. I really do like Genesis, all three singers. I've even heard rumors they might put out a new album. That'd be cool. I will be honest. I kind of wish that in the 90s, Genesis would have continued with Ray Wilson. I think that guy deserved more of a chance. Because yes, even though Calling All Stations is one of their weakest albums, there were some pretty good songs on that album, especially in the first half of the album. The first three songs I thought were fantastic. Especially Congo. That's maybe my favorite on the album. Does anyone else here think that Saint Anger is a bit more interesting than Load and Reload like me? Not necessarily. I probably still like Load and Reload more. But I would say that Saint Anger is a bit overhated. I don't think that the album is as bad as a lot of people make it out to be. And a little hot take as well, I'd rather listen to Saint Anger than anything by Slipknot. But that's just me. Trust me, I know it's bad. One was 3 years. I mean, I have Saint Anger as well. I mean, I'm a bit of a completist when it comes to CDs, so I have to have everything from Metallica, especially. Now, there are some bands where I don't need everything from, but Metallica, I gotta have everything from. I'm trying to think of some bands where I don't need everything from. I have to really think about that. Maybe Black Sabbath, only because there's so much in the 80s, like in the Tony Martin era and that time for Black Sabbath. Now, I do like Tony Martin as a vocalist, but some of that stuff I could pass on buying CD. My favorite Phil Collins solo songs are In the Air Tonight, I Don't Care Anymore, and Take Me Home. Yeah, some of my favorites would be In the Air Tonight, Against All Odds, Easy Lover, and How I Wish It Would Rain. I think if I'm thinking of the right song. Yeah, those are some of my favorites. Now, of course, there's others that could grow up to be some of my favorites, but for right now, those are some of my favorites. Green Day should retire or just become a touring band. Yeah, I'd agree. Green Day I never got into. Also don't have much respect for their singer either. Ray Wilson is a very good singer. I mean, whatever really happened to him? I don't know. And to be honest, I don't know why they stopped with just one album with him in the band. I mean, obviously, those last couple Genesis albums didn't make as much money as, the ones from before, but now We Can't Dance, I thought was an okay album. It's definitely one of their weakest, though. Have you checked out Faith No More, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Primus, any metal bands? You also like Helmet too? Never checked out those bands. I think Red Hot Chili Peppers I might have checked out once recently, like this year, but from what I remembered, I don't really like what I've heard from them. But maybe there will be a time where I do appreciate their music. We'll see. Saint Anger isn't a double album with loads of filler. It's more of a unique and discography. Of course, it's not their best, but it's not nearly as bad as what people say. Yeah, I would agree with that last statement. I don't think it's as bad as people say. You like the title track and Frantic? Yeah, I do too, actually. Those are pretty catchy songs. The Unnamed Feeling, I think, is also not bad. Candlebox is a good band. The self-titled album is my favorite from them. Oh, yeah, Candlemass is actually a band I want to look more into soon. Understandable, since you're more of a Metallica fan than a Slipknot fan. Yeah, for sure. I find Load and Reload boring, to be honest. Yes, there's a few songs on there, such as King Nothing and Fuel, but most of it really bores me. Yeah, I can understand that. I will admit, I don't return to a lot of the songs on those albums a lot, but some of the songs I do still return to. Ironically, Saint Anger was one of my first Metallica albums I've purchased. Interesting. I believe it was the last one. Well, the last main album I've purchased from them. You love Tony Martin. He's your favorite Black Sabbath singer. Cool. Yeah, he's a good singer. You got any Ozzy Osbourne solo albums? I do not. Never really got into Ozzy's solo stuff. But from what I've heard, it's not bad. I have all the CDs in my collection, even... Oh, all the red CDs. Even the calibrated Release the Panic. Cool. Yeah, I have recalibrated, but it's a CDR that I got at FYE one time. I don't have like an actual like official CD of it. It's just a CDR. Dio you might like too. I do like some Dio actually. Green Day is okay, but I never got into them. Yeah, I never got into them either. I mean, I've always liked a handful of songs, but yeah, definitely not for me. What is Ray Wilson just here as an idea? Someone else said he's the new singer of Soundgarden. I can't see that happening. You have all the Red albums as well. Cool. Ray Wilson and Soundgarden. I got really tired of hearing the stuff on the Tarzan album with Phil Collins. Interesting. Megadeth's Risk and Super Collider is better than Saint Anger. I'd probably agree with that. I would probably agree. 80s Metallica is for sure the best, hands down. Oh, no doubt. Especially Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets, which are definitely my top two. You meant to say Red. Yeah, I kind of figured that. How was Demon Hunter live? Oh, it was a great show. Yeah, I would definitely go see Demon Hunter again. If I get the chance. I pretend that Lulu doesn't exist from Metallica, yeah. Same here. You like Metallica a lot? Cool. Zach, just to fill you in, Slipknot released a member edition of the band's faces on the album cover. Their new album. Interesting. Lulu is so bad it's funny, yeah. So I pre-ordered the Corey Taylor. Oh, okay. James, the kind of tables. Yeah. Honestly, I don't think Metallica has put out a good album since the Black Album. Now that some were better than others. Yeah. I can understand that. I mean, I would say that the Black Album was their last great album. They've released good albums since then. And I will be honest, even though I do like And Justice for All, it's kind of grown off of me a little bit. I'm not really sure why. I mean, I still think it's one of their best, but it's definitely not as good as Master of Puppets or Ride the Lightning. It might even be below the Black Album for me nowadays. I mean, I actually nowadays might put the Black Album at my number 3. I'm excited tonight because of the new song from Christian rock band Cutlass. Wars of Fire is supposed to go all the way back to their roots, but even more hard rock. Interesting. I know I've heard of Cutlass. Are you still into August Burns Red? Not really. That's a band that kind of fell off for me like a few years ago. I haven't even checked out their last album from 2020. You still enjoy Hardwired? Yeah, I mean, Hardwired, it's a good album for what it is, but I will admit, I don't really return to that album that much. Yeah, Death Magnetic is decent, but you hate the loud production. I can agree. You would say Hardwire is a 3 out of 5 stars. Yeah, I mean, it's a good album, but I mean, if I'm going to listen to Metallica, I'm just going to listen to the old stuff. You know, I'm going to listen to the first 5 albums, you know? Even Load, I think, is better than Hardwired. I know that might be controversial, but I think Load does have some good stuff on it, though. Hardwired is good, but I think Death Magnetic is better. Maybe. Yeah, I would say that nowadays my favorite song from Hardwired would be Moth into Flame. It used to be Spit Out the Bone, but that song hasn't been doing it for me as much lately. I mean, yeah, I dig how fast and energetic it is, but it's kind of grown off of me a little bit. It's not as good as I remember. Because I do remember listening to it recently and I was thinking, yeah, this is good, but it's not as good as I remember, you know? Now, I don't know if it's just because, you know, I discovered way more music since the last time I've really binged on that song. That might have something to do with it. I don't know, but yeah, who knows? Do you like Bob's Burgers, the TV show? Never got into it. I definitely know of it, but never got into it. Check out the band Anvil, the most underrated heavy metal band of all time. I might. Dead Yellow asks, Zach, do you ever watch Blade Runner? That is actually one that I've thought about checking out recently, so yeah, maybe I'll check it out. You never cared for Bob's Burgers. Gotcha. U2 is a little overdue for a new album. The last time we heard from them was back in 2017. Yeah. I mean, I'd agree that they're overdue, but I never really got into those guys. I also think Obituary is due for a new album as well, because 2017 was also the last time they've released an album as well. And they're still a band, you know, it's not like that the band like discontinued or anything, so MJ seeing Iron Maiden tonight? He actually might be, come to think of it. What a lucky individual. Fleetwood Mac is overdue for a new album. It's been 20 years. Are they even still a band? Then did you ever play Undertale? You would like it. There's a dude who's a powerful metalhead in it. Oh, okay, interesting. I honestly don't play video games as much as I used to, but I definitely know of Undertale. I mean, I've heard about it multiple times. Maybe someday I'll check it out, but we'll see. Yes, they are still a band. Oh, wow, interesting. I didn't think Fleetwood Mac was still going on. My buddy has seen Iron Maiden perform live when they came to our home area. Cool. Yeah, I would love to see Iron Maiden live. I mean, if they ever came to my town, I would probably buy tickets. Even if they're at the stadium where I saw Metallica, I might go. Tickets might be expensive, but maybe not as expensive, but we'll see. Aerosmith is long overdue for a new album. I think it's been 11 years. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. Although I heard that modern Aerosmith is not really that good. Just from what people have been saying, it's not as good as their early stuff. Hoping Iron Maiden will do another US tour next year. Yeah, that'd be cool. What are your favorite videos to watch on YouTube? Watch funny videos? Do you like our TV show? No. As far as what I like to watch on YouTube, I actually like to watch a variety of things. You know, I like to, well, of course, watch reviewers, you know, rankings of albums and stuff. Movie reviews as well, you know. What else? Occasionally I'll watch, like, people explore abandoned places. I think those videos are pretty fascinating. What else? That's a good question. Maybe if I go to my feed. Yeah, a lot of music stuff. Modern Aerosmith is good, but just not as bad as Modern Kiss. Gotcha. Crazy as it sounds, I like the song, and I don't want to miss a thing. It's from the, again, movie soundtrack that had a lot of Aerosmith songs. They also used Blaze of Glory, Farrell. Did you ever see Rush live before Neil Peart passed away? I unfortunately have not. Did you ever see the Dwarf Guy Explores this underground sewer thing? He is my favorite of guys exploring abandoned places. I might have heard of him, actually. I don't know. One of the channels that I'm familiar with is The Proper People. I don't know if you've heard of them as well, but they're a channel like that as well. You know I'm a huge Kiss fan. Fortunately, Kiss has also released a worst album. I hear you. I mean, every band has their worst album, even if it's good, you know. There's always going to be albums better than others. Top 5 underrated guitar players. Patrick Judge, for sure, from Demon Hunter. Maybe Alex Lifeson from Rush. I mean, you could really make a debate on whether or not he's underrated, but... but he doesn't get as much love as Neil Peart, I've noticed. Yeah, I really can't name 5 underrated guitarists, though. But those are a couple right there. Maybe I'll think of a few. Yeah, that's a good question. Carnival of Souls, that album is stupid. Okay. Rush Guy to stop doing that, I think, though, because the rest of her Oh, okay. I've been watching Brian's videos, and he's doing a review for Godsmack's discography. Because Godsmack is coming out with a new album next year. Oh boy, I can't wait. You also been watching AMVs. Man, AMVs are like so 10 years ago. I mean, I don't have a problem with them, I guess, but I don't know. You know, I think in the 90s, a lot of 70s, 80s, and 90s rock and metal bands release bad albums that try to sound like new metal. Yeah, that is actually something I've noticed. It does seem like a lot of bands have released their worst albums in the 90s. Iron Maiden, for example, they released Virtual 11. But then there's bands that actually put out some of their best work in the 90s, you know? So it really depends. And then with Metallica, you of course had Reload, which I do think is one of their weaker albums. But that album actually does have some good songs. I mean, obviously, I do think that Reload is better than Virtual 11. Are you going to listen to Slipknot's new album? Probably not. I'm not really a Slipknot guy. It's one of the reasons why I do like Pink Floyd. They're my favorite band of all time. They have not put out a bad album. That's cool. Yeah, but there's a lot of bands that haven't put out a bad album, like Deftones and Trivium, Rush. You could maybe make an argument for Dream Theater. You can maybe say that they've never released a bad album. And I only say that because even their worst albums, I think, have a few good songs on them. What do you think is the most copied grunge band? Not sure. For example, Metallica, Kiss, Judas Priest, Slayer. I don't know if I'd agree with Judas Priest because they've only released 2 albums in the 90s, at least as far as I can tell. And I like both of them, so. And with Pink Floyd, I like their guitar tone with David Gilmour's voice. The Roger Waters era is not my favorite era of Pink Floyd. Okay. Someone once told me Metallica were trying to sound like new metal at one point because they were trying to fit in with bands like Deftones, Korn, and Linkin Park. Yeah, I mean, Saint Anger, I think, does have some Korn influences, but I mean, I could see where the arguments are coming from with that album, but it is what it is. You have I have something controversial. My favorite Judas Priest album is Nostradamus. Wow, that is controversial. That's actually one of my least favorites from the band. But that's the interesting thing about that album, is I've noticed that it's an album that's either one of your favorites or it's one of your least favorites. For me, it is one of my least favorites. What about that album, Demolition? Well, that album came out in the early 2000s. That's not a 90s album. You should check out the Need for Speed Most Wanted soundtrack. Okay. Saint Anger is definitely Korn and Slipknot inspired, I feel. Yeah. I mean, you could definitely tell that they were trying to fit in with the times. What's your favorite word that you've made up? That's a good question. Well, I once saw someone say that they didn't know that unhateable, or not unhateable, my bad, overhated, that's the word. They didn't know that that was a real word. That might have been made up by me, I don't know. Like what you like, man. Don't feel guilty about anything you enjoy. Yeah, exactly. I'm just a huge fan of big, elastic guitar sounds and heavy metal with great vocals. Nostradamus has that. Yeah, I mean, Nostradamus does have a couple good songs, I think. Like, I don't think that the album is, hot garbage or anything. My favorite song on that album would actually be Alone. That's like one of the few songs that I do go back to from that album. Three stupid songs. Anger. I do agree with those except for Unnamed Feeling. That one I think is not bad. Yeah, the Unnamed Feeling I think is actually one of the better songs on Saint Anger. Gotten into the band Extreme recently, you might like them. Isn't Extreme the band with Gary Sharon in it? I also could be, I'm a huge history buff, and the fact that there's an entire album based on Nostradamus. Yeah, fair enough. It's great on guitar. Cool. Yeah, maybe in like, I don't know. Maybe in like 10 more minutes, I'll go ahead and end the stream. This is not one that I plan on being too long, but I am getting close to reaching the 1 hour mark. You forgot to tell me something? What's that, Christian? Just so you know, Christian, you can just say, you don't have to say, can I tell you something, or I forgot to tell you something. Dude, just, it's a live chat. Go ahead and say it. Whatever it is, So, a few weeks ago, I ran into, poster at Target wearing a Metallica shirt. Interesting. Oh, there's MJ Nation. It's been a while since he's been in my streams. I mean, I know that he's been busy lately. Can't wait to see Trivium and Iron Maiden tomorrow. Queensryche is also apparently coming into my area in a couple months. That's cool. Have you ever gotten into Papa Roach or Shinedown? Shinedown, I had like a phase with for like 2 months, and they just quickly fell off for me. I'm not really into post-grunge like I used to be. Zach, you should stream on Twitch so you can make a movie, watch party, and we can watch some crazy Amazon Prime stuff. I don't know. Twitch is not really for me, but I mean, that idea is pretty cool, though, I will say. Don't like Twitch. There's something shady about it to me, like this very unnerving feeling. I can't explain it. Yeah, I definitely hear you. That Shogun poster is really cool. Yeah, it is cool. Do you like the Killers? Not really. Never really got into them. You got hired to do a big Hollywood movie. What band would you hire to do the soundtrack for your movie? I mean, Demon Hunter is definitely a band that comes to mind. And that would also get them more recognition as well. I mean, to have them in a film, that'd be cool. This player laggy for you. YouTube is completely fine, but which takes up like 50 years of load. Okay. Ready to see Iron Maiden and Trivium? Yeah. That is cool that MJ is seeing Trivium and Iron Maiden. I'll wear my Trivium shirt to the show. I don't have an Iron Maiden shirt, but I'll definitely get one at the merch booth. Yeah, definitely get one if you don't have one. I actually have 2 Iron Maiden shirts. I have one that has the Power Slave album cover. Or, it's not really the album cover, but it's like the Power Slave, like, theme that looks like the album cover, you know? And then I have one that's just a plain black shirt that has the band logo on it. When I saw Megadeth, I wore my Megadeth shirt to the show. Yeah, that's cool. I would like to see Megadeth live. Although I have seen a recent live performance from Megadeth, and I don't know. Dave Mustaine, you can definitely tell that he's really aging. Power Slave is also an FPS game from the 90s. Didn't know it was a song too. Well, it actually might be based off of the song and the album. But yeah, it's a song that's from the album from the same name. But yeah, I never heard of it. Last time I went to see Iron Maiden, there was a couple just getting food, having a little too much fun. Oh gosh. That is interesting. Yeah, but I went to 2 concerts this year. I saw Metallica in August, and then I saw Demon Hunter earlier this month. I just might go see In Flames in October at the end of the month, because they're actually playing at the same place Demon Hunter was at, so maybe. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing In Flames. They do have a few opening acts as well. I'll have to look up who those are, though. But I don't know, I might not go, but it like I said, it's honestly a big maybe. But yeah, I might go ahead and end the stream here shortly. So if you guys have anything you would like to say, now would be a good time. Like I said, I only planned on this stream being only like around an hour long. Okay, so apparently my chat is broken on my phone. So that's why I haven't been reading your comments. So I'm on my laptop now. And I'll read them here. Dave Mustaine went through a lot of health issues, and I think that's why he's aging. He's also survived cancer. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, it's unfortunate to hear, what happened to him over the last few years. MJ, you have a great time tomorrow. You enjoy it. Thoughts on Collective Soul, such an underappreciated band? Never check them out. When the couples had a little too much fun, me and my buddies were doing our... I'd laugh at them. Nice. Hopefully either Iron Maiden or Trivium will have signed drum heads or CDs or any signed stuff at the merch booth. Yeah? Yeah, we all saw legendary heavy metal bands this year. Seeing Korn and Iron Maiden are definitely big ones for me in terms of bands I've seen this year. Yeah, I believe it. One of the best concerts I've ever been to. Spear in the Orchestra. I saw it with my girl. It was amazing. Cool. Do you wear earplugs in a concert? I do not. Swedish bands are awesome. Yeah, they can be. I hope All Out Life gets added to We're Not Your Kind, maybe on an anniversary edition or something. A great band that used to exist was Section. Nice. Smile Empty Soul is an underrated band. Yeah, that's a band you won't ever catch me listening to. I mean, I definitely know of them, but I don't know. They're not really for me, though. Seen Demon Hunter twice this tour, and it was amazing. I'm still way too hyped about it. Wow. I wish I could have seen them twice this year. I mean, I would definitely go see them again. So. I mean, if they come around my area again, hopefully I can not only go, but actually have people to go with. Seeing Red Hot Chili Peppers and As I Lay Dying this year was also